Welcome back, mathematicians. Today I have a new number sense routine that I want to teach you. And my third graders last year absolutely loved it. It's called an ST mystery. And let me explain what an ST mystery is. An ST mystery is where I will give you a group of items, and we are going to work together with some clues to determine how many items there actually are. And so ST is really talking about like making an estimate. And then it's a mystery because we don't know what it is yet. So let's do this one together today. Before seeing the clues, we're going to estimate how many objects are in the vase. I want you to take a minute and think what would be a reasonable amount of those little muffins or cupcakes. I can see that there's a dice nearby, so I can kind of think that the muffins, they're about the same size as the dice, maybe a little bit bigger. And as the clues appear, we're going to use the information to narrow down our possibilities. And we're going to use estimation to determine which of the remaining answers is the most reasonable. Okay, so let's get started. Clue number 1. The number is between 30 and 75. The answer is odd. What does it mean if something is odd? Yeah, it can't be divided in half. So that means it is not even. That means the last digit in the number is going to be either 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Look carefully at the die. You can see 3 numbers. None of those numbers is a digit in the answer. Ooh. Okay, if you need to pause at any point to try and rethink what your estimate needs to be, feel free to do so. Our last clue. Look at the die again. The sum of the numbers that can be seen is not a digit in the answer. Do you remember what sum means? Okay, so pause the video if you need to get your answer. And then when you're ready, you can play it again and I will reveal it. So by combining all the clues and your ability to be reasonable and estimate, you now have enough information to determine the answer. And the answer is 47 objects. I bet many of you were super, super close. Great job today, you guys. Hi, mathematicians. So today we are starting something that's not completely new to you as mathematicians, but we are starting something new in math for us this year. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you how to compare and order numbers all the way up to 100,000 using place value. Now, don't freak out because you guys have already done all the important work of understanding numbers and understanding that digits in certain places have certain values. And you're going to use all of that you've been learning the last few weeks and apply it to comparing and ordering. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about with comparing and ordering. So if I had these 3 different rivers, the Missouri River, which is 32,215 miles, the Mississippi River, which is 72,348 miles, and the Yukon River, which is 31,979 miles, and I said that I wanted you to tell me which river was the least and which was the greatest, and then also put them in order, this is how you might do that. The first thing I would want you to do is set it up inside of a place value chart. Place value charts are very useful in lots of ways. And in comparing and ordering, it's a really helpful tool. So I want you to first set it up like this, but then I don't want you to leave it like this. I also want you to label which river off to the side because sometimes we get them confused. Do you see how there's one that's 32,000 and one that's 31,000 and one that's 32,000 and one that's 72,000? Those can be easily confused. And so we always want to make sure we have those labels there. Okay, so the next thing I do is I'm going to start with my greatest place value location, which is my 10,000s place. And I'm going to look. I see a 3. Actually, I see 2 3s and 1 7. That doesn't mean 3 and 7. That means 30,000 and 70,000. So, which is greater, 30,000 or 70,000? Yep, you got it. 70,000 is definitely larger than 30,000. So what I'm going to do after I've started here and looked at these digits, and I have decided, at 30,000, 70,000, 30,000, and I've decided that 70,000 is greatest, I'm actually going to cross that one off because I've already done it. There's not another one that I need to look at right now. Okay? But do you see that I still have the Missouri River and the Yukon River that I need to figure out? And both of those have 3s in the 10,000s place? Mathematician, where should I look next? Oh, I know you said it. Go to the thousands place. Okay. One important part that I want to make sure I do before I move on to that thousands place is go ahead and write down that my Mississippi River is the greatest. And, mathematicians, sometimes in problems, they're not going to say the number. They're actually going to tell you what that number was representing, which was the Mississippi River, how long, how many miles it was. And so here I'm going to say the Mississippi River is greater than, and I need to figure out what's going to come next. So I'm going to look at the thousands place, and I'm going to decide which is greater, 2,000 or 1,000. And you can see I chose the 2,000 is greater. So here I know that the Missouri River is going to come next in the ordering. But when I compare it, I'm going to say Mississippi River is greater than the Missouri River. Now, mathematicians, in this situation, we only have one more river. So obviously that's going to be the Yukon River is the least. Okay, mathematicians, now it's your turn to try. So I want you to do exactly what I did, and I want you to order these numbers from greatest to least, and I want you to justify why you put them in that order. And how you're going to justify is basically explaining to me exactly what you did in order to know the order that these numbers go in. So I think it would be helpful if you probably set up your place value chart like we did over here. Make sure that you label like we did over here. Make sure that you're showing your work like we did below the place value chart. Make sure you're including your comparing and ordering statement like I did here at the top where I said Mississippi River is greater than the Missouri River, which is greater than the Yukon River. And I'm going to get you started today. You can pause this or you can complete this. If you need to pause it to write everything down, that's what I would do. And then off you go. And while you're going, I want you to think back after you finish. What information about comparing and ordering did you already know? And what was new? And do you have a good strategy that you could use from now on? Okay, mathematicians, make sure you have these numbers copied down. This is your chance to practice what I showed you. Put your place value chart on your paper. And if you'd like, you can snap a quick picture and send it to your teacher in Seesaw. But make sure you're doing it because there's a good chance your teacher might bring it up in your small group time. Okay, mathematicians, off you go.